Let's bring back in our think tank. Judge, let me go to you first, Judge Porter. This is an unusual request for a case like this. R. Kelly, yes, accused of some really bad things, some really serious things, but he's not John Gotti.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think that this is a good move for the prosecution. You leave the door open for appeal after appeal. This case will never end if it begins this way. If this is what we are looking at the very beginning, this case will never end. And Mr. Kelly will have all of the everything afforded to him by law to appeal and to reject everything dealing with his trial.
Yeah, let's put up on the screen what the prosecution is alleging here, because this is fascinating. It says, R. Kelly is likely to be perceived by the jurors as capable of inflicting violence. Witnesses will testify that Kelly physically and violently assaulted them. The fact that jurors are aware that their identities are publicly known may subtly and unconsciously impair their impartiality. DeWitt Lacy, how dangerous is R. Kelly? Is this a guy that might take out a juror?
I think that might be a stretch too far. Okay? I don't know of any information that he will take someone out. However, he does have, as you said, cases throughout the country, seemingly, and for child sex trafficking, for rape. Those are serious offenses and should be taken that way. But I don't think it's fair to subject him then to a jury that's completely anonymous. Yes, I think there have to be protections that are offered to jurors so that they're not subjected to harassment during their ingress or egress from the courthouse, but to make the defense try the case with a totally anonymous jury, I think is stretched too far.
Joseph Marone, I'm not an R. Kelly fan. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. I don't even like his music, I'll be honest with you. I was never really a huge fan.
I like it.
But I'm a fan of fairness. I mean, the arguments that are being made by prosecutors, and I'm a former one, seem to apply to any case. They would apply to any and every case. So it seems to me that either our jury system should be anonymous all the time or shouldn't be anonymous in this case.
Yeah, listen, there's criminal cases all the time that are tried with violence that there's not anonymous jurors. And, you got to go back to the history of R. Kelly. I mean, the government, whether it's federal or state, have a bitter pill in their mouth about this. He beat a case a while back. It involves, obviously, a predatory type sexual offenses to minors. So, it doesn't sit well. So they're doing everything possible at this point, taking the biggest shots they can take, try to win at all costs. They know they're not going to win this, if they can get anything out of it. If anything, they're going to probably season the public a little bit, the potential jury pool. They'll hear about it. Maybe they get the edge there, but they're doing everything they can to win. They know they're not going to have any success here. They know that no jury is going to be anonymous. The sequestration, which is another element to it, there may be some limitation to it, but it's not going to go very far. And again, it'll end up same as the Weinstein trial. I mean, they're gonna allow these jurors to be known, and they're not going to be sequestered.
Judge Porter, R. Kelly is a celebrity. Usually I say advantage celebrity in these cases, but is it advantage R. Kelly in light of what the public thinks of him now, especially after that docuseries, Surviving R. Kelly?
I don't believe he has any advantage. It's been really R. Kelly versus the world, because there have been people after him and wanting him to be brought to justice for years and years and years. And I mean, it is going to be very hard on the defense side to get people who have never heard of him or don't have any kind of biases towards him. This is going to be hard for R. Kelly. I mean, people have been trying to get him for a very long time. And I think that whatever they can get to stick, that's what's going to happen ultimately.
Go ahead, DeWitt.
Vinny,
I think you're trying to jump in there. I'm sorry, I stepped on you.
Yeah, if I could jump in, and I'm going to have to disagree with Her Honor here. Although there are people who are very suspect of R. Kelly and may want to see him convicted, he also has a lot of fans. A lot of people like I Believe I Can Fly. A lot of people like a 12 play, you know, and the list go on and on. He is an R&B superstar, and there are already accounts of people, women included, who believe that he is being unfairly charged. So some of this may be may give the defense the drum that they can beat of being treated unfairly because of his celebrity. So I mean, we'll see.
But don't you think after the documentary came out that made it even worse for Mr. Kelly? I'm not saying that he's just totally going to be found guilty on each and every charge, but I believe that it really makes it harder with all of the accounts that were put forward in that documentary that the world saw. I mean, we can't say that it's just because he has fans and has this great following that all of a sudden his worries are just going to go away.
I think you're right, Your Honor. You know, I don't think the worries completely go away. However, I think there's something to be said about his group of fans who may, in fact, I guess, vindicate him through a verdict of not guilty. Now, look, the documentary is one thing, and it may certainly have cemented his guilt in the minds of many and several folks. But I would imagine that there are many and several folks on the other side of that coin who feel a little bit differently. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I don't know that, you know, it is a closed book deal for the prosecution.
I mean,
Speaking of celebrities, folks. Go ahead, Joseph. I'll give you the final word.
No, one interesting point. You know, this is a guy that sold tens and tens of millions of records. There's a lot of people out there that love this man and see him in a different way. If you get one juror on there that sees that person and they feel that he's being over-prosecuted, I mean, he walks. And the defense knows that, and they're going to play that card. So that's something you got to think about.
You know what I love? Joseph Marone just said he sold a lot of records. And they probably were records or cassettes or CDs, 8-tracks, and maybe some downloads too. All right. Speaking of celebrities, by the way, folks, Court TV's latest podcast is out. And this week, we take a closer look at the Johnny Depp libel suit. This is out of London. Depp suing a British tabloid that published an article referring to him as a wife beater. Depp's ex-wife, actress Amber Heard, testified